This is a general relationship reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, because we're talking about relationships. This reading can apply to any kind of relationship, okay? It can be a work relationship, it can be a family, it can be friends, and obviously it can be a romantic relationship, all right? So whatever relationship you have in mind, we'll see what kind of messages we get for you. I did want to let you know that before I started the video, I pulled 3 cards from this Lover's Path tarot deck to get a general feel for where the current energies are in the relationship. And then I pulled another 3 cards for some other aspects that we'll look at together. But I haven't looked at those yet. I left those kind of turned upside down, or not upside down, but I left those like this, whatever the word for that is. And so I'm shuffling because it helps me think. The last thing before we get started with your reading that you should know is that in this particular deck, the way that I use this is that I take out 1/3 of the cards. So that's 26 cards, and those are inverted. So there are only 26 inverted cards in this whole deck. And so if we see one of those, it'll give us a really good indication of where the blockages and the challenges are, because it's only 1/3 of the deck. Okay, so if those come out, there's a good chance that there was some kind of challenge there. So let's see what we got now that I'm done with my little introduction there. So Cancer, your energy came out as the Princess of Coins, and in like a normal tarot deck, this would be the Page of Pentacles. And what I got with this, and we'll get some clarification with a different deck, was that you're working on nurturing something. You're working on something, and it's kind of consuming you. So where are you in this relationship? I don't know that your head is in the relationship. Again, this is just based off of 1 card. Excuse me. So we'll take a look and see what else we can get. But the first hit I got here was, I don't know that your heart is fully in. Like you're focused on something. You're focused on something, and I don't know what it is yet, right? But you're definitely focused on something. My instinct is that it's not necessarily this relationship, but we'll see. The relationship of the person, the current energy of the person that you're thinking about in this relationship came up as the, what do they call this? The Ace of Arrows. And arrows in this deck are the swords. So this is the Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is the current energy that they're in. And what I'm getting here is that they've either pulled away. Worst case scenario, they're not telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. They might be keeping stuff from you. Communication challenges here, right? They may have withdrawn, right? They may have withdrawn. They're not communicating with you the way they used to. In some cases, they may be, not telling the whole truth. Those types of things. So the energy that they're in, you two are in very different energies right now. So, and after we get the lay of the land, we'll use a different deck to kind of get some additional details. But I also pulled one for the overall energy of the relationship, and this came out as Temptation in this deck. It's called Temptation. In a normal tarot deck, it's the Devil. So if this card is representative of the current energies of the relationship, then you guys have slipped into some kind of rut, best case scenario, some kind of rut. You guys are clearly kind of in different spaces, so maybe you're kind of ships that pass in the night, and you're doing different things, all right? This is like I'm getting like really stuck This is like a very stuck energy, and like hard to find your way out of type of thing. So that's kind of like the overall energy of as the relationship is coming in. And again, before I say too much with just one card, bear with me, because I do want to get kind of a lay of the land. The next card that I pulled that I haven't looked at yet was representing what you, Cancer, want from the relationship. And you came up as the Queen of Cups in reverse. What I'm hoping you don't want what this card represents in reverse, right? Because, well, that's why I had to hesitate for a second. I'm like, Cancer doesn't tell me Cancer doesn't want that. This is your card, but this is your court card, by the way. The Queen of Cups in reverse is like drama queen, central, not in control of her emotions, you know, kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs type of, you know, erratic behavior and that kind of thing could be Queen of Cups in reverse. So I'm gonna go with that's not what you want, right? Because this is what you want from the relationship. So I'm guessing that historically in the past, this behavior has been there, whether it was coming from you or just like maybe sometimes when we hook in with people, they bring out our ugly. It's happened to me. It's probably happened to most of us, right? And, you know, so you may have found yourself in this type of energy tied to this relationship, and you don't want, this is not what you want, right? It's not what you want. You want to be the stable, emotionally stable, loving, caring Queen of Cups, right? So I think what you want from this relationship is to purge yourself of this. The other thing that I could get here with the Queen of Cups in reverse is somebody who's had to shut her heart chakra down. You know, someone who's had to shut that loving, nurturing heart energy, shut it down. You know, this is a shut down, emotionally shut down person. So if this is not outwardly like erratic and drama queen, another variation of Queen of Cups in reverse is like someone who's not connected emotionally. This is a shut down human being, which is, you know, that's obviously sad for a lot of reasons. All right, and so the card that I pulled, haven't looked at it yet, for what the person that you're thinking about wants for the relationship. And they got Temperance, which is interesting. Oh boy, I'm getting a lot of things from this. It's almost like they don't want to let you go, even though they know that it would be best for you if they did. That's what I'm getting. That's the effed up message. It's a little effed up to me. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but that's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's like they want to keep the dance going. They want to keep the facade. They want to keep the whatever label you want to put on it. But it's like one of you isn't into the relationship. And I'm Cancer, I'm guessing it's you, but you know, it could be the other way around. It could be this other, but as a matter of fact, well, actually it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with the cards that are on the table right now. It could go either way. So one of you doesn't really want this, but you're also bound together for some reason, right? You're bound, and so you're gonna, even though you know that there's better for you out there, or you imagine that there's better for you out there, it's like you're stuck, like you're more freaking stuck, you know? So what do they want from the relationship? Maybe they want to keep things the way that they are, even though they know it's not healthy. You know, maybe they're like an eternal optimist, because that's kind of what the story is in this card, is, you know, this figure was given Aphrodite. She didn't want to be there. She wanted to be Aphrodite and give her love to freely and do what she wanted to do. And but she was given to him. And so, you know, he tried to get her to love him. She never really did, because she thought she was better. She could do better, and she wanted better, and she wanted different, but they were like bound together by the gods, so to speak, right? So there's something binding. So I'm definitely going to get clarification on this one. This is probably one of the first ones I'm going to get clarification on, okay? The last one that I pulled to just kind of get this lay of the land is what the obstacle or the challenge was in the relationship. And so this, you got the World. And in this deck, it's called Triumph. And what I'm getting from this card for you, Cancer, is that you may very well have really helped. You've done a lot, I think, to help this person, help this relationship. But there's something that's not allowing closure. Like, it almost kind of feels like there needs to be some kind of closure here, but like neither of you want, it's like neither of you are willing to do it, you know? It's like neither of you are willing to let go. So the challenge or the obstacle, you know, sometimes our own, like, we get into such a rut, we get into such a routine, we get so comfortable, sometimes we get complacent, and we just get stuck, you know? Where there should be, I'm getting like where there should be a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning, it's not happening. Okay, lots of things to dig into here. So I think first, gosh, I don't even know where to start. I want to dig into all of it. All right, Cancer, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with the energy that you came out as, and you came out as the, essentially the Page of Pentacles for the energy that you're currently in the relationship. So for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, let me get clarification on this Princess of Coins for this relationship, the current energy that Cancer is in relative to this relationship. What clarification can we give to Cancer? And I will show you these, the Four of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Three of Wands. Wow. Look at these. You know, Cancer, I think secretly, the thing that you're working on, the thing that I said, like I kind of feel like you're working on something, like your attention is really not necessarily, if it is in this relationship, it is, but it isn't type of thing. Because I think what you're really thinking about is where you find joy and where you find pleasure is in thinking about your social life and your just, you know, how you can connect with people. And that's something that you're putting effort and time into. I think secretly you may want this, right? You may want to really build something beautiful and stable with somebody in a relationship. So I think you're thinking about this, right? So your current energy, if you're not getting this in the relationship, there's something off balance here. So I, you know, maybe once upon a time you were getting this, like you guys were working towards the same goal. But there's stuff standing in the way now, you know? So now it's become you guys aren't on the same page anymore. So now there's conflicting interests and possibly squabbling and possibly arguing, you know, depending on depending on your particular situation, you know, but this is challenges. And so we've got these challenges in between this kind of connection card, like connecting with people, like really emotionally and deeply, you know, like even spiritual connection, and really working with other people to kind of build. This is the 3, right? This is like putting our dreams into reality. You know, like this is manifestation type of energy, right? Like you want to create something, and it may literally be a child, but it could also be that you want to put the energy out there to bring in a more stable relationship for yourself, you know, something that's going to allow you to be the Queen of Cups, upright, which is your birthright. You're a Cancer, right? So like the sensitivity and the loving and the big-heartedness that Cancers have, right? You've come up this way relative to this relationship, you know? And so I think all of these things that we see here in these cards are kind of being suppressed in some way because Cancer, your heart is shut down, you know? You're not fully able to connect with your partner emotionally, possibly, you know, I'm guessing at this point, you're not able to connect emotionally with this person that you're thinking about. I'm not really getting work here. I'm getting this is probably a personal relationship of some variety. And so it's keeping you from, you know, it's keeping you from having these things that you want, you know? It's like this is your challenge. The fact that you keep your heart on lockdown, right? You're not able to fully connect and make the relationships that you want to make. That's tough, right? But I feel like you're still in this relationship though. You're still here. You know, even though you're not able to have these things that you want, you know, even though the relationship is very probably in a very stuck state, you know, even though communication from the person is probably lacking and or, you know, depending on which of you could, you know, dishonesty, you know, could be any spectrum of communication challenges here. All right. Next, I want to take a look at. I want to get some clarification on this. This was the energy for the obstacle or the challenge that the relationship is in. Like, what was the challenge? What's the challenge or the obstacle in this relationship, okay? So let's take a look at that. For Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, what is this challenge, this obstacle, this blockage? Clarification on this World card, please, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The Knight of Cups. All of you air signs, all of you water signs. I'm doing the water signs today, and there's repeat themes here. You guys are getting some repeat cards, all three of you. Five of Swords. And I shuffle the damn cards, yo. You see how I pull. I don't like some Ten of Pentacles. Okay, Cancer, please watch the Scorpio reading too, because there may be messages in there for you too, okay? All right, so this was clarification for the obstacles and the challenges that this relationship is facing. I think this is the Ten of Pentacles. I think what's keeping you here, Cancer, is this stability. I think you're getting some kind of stability from this relationship, and that's why you're putting up with this, which is the Knight of Cups and the Five of Swords. So for me, the Knight of Cups is often best case scenario, there was good intentions here at one point. There were good intentions, and maybe some things were promised and some things were either asked for, agreed to, whatever, as part of the relationship, kind of when the relationship started, and those things did not develop. And so someone is feeling like they got the short end of the stick, like they didn't get what they bargained for, didn't get what they wanted. And for some of you, this could very well have ended. The Five of Swords could very well have been a final blow up, a final argument, like the straw that broke the camel's back type of energy with the Five of Swords. So for some of you that have managed to escape this energy, this kind of stuckness of the devil energy, it probably happened in a really ugly way. And it was probably pretty damn painful. Yeah, for those of you that are still in a relationship, I feel like if you're not in this energy where you guys are fighting and arguing a lot already, that you're doing the way that this is not happening. So the potential for this exists. I'm feeling like big time in this relationship. So if it's not happening, it's not happening because of the suppression, because of the suppressed communication and the suppressed emotions that we are seeing in the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse. Because I think if you guys do end up communicating, maybe the fear, maybe the reason you guys aren't really communicating is because you're afraid if you do, shit is gonna hit the fan. It's gonna be ugly, and it may just like end it all, right? And like, and that's the end of that, and that's gonna be the end of that. It's gonna be the end of the, you know, the stability. So it's like you guys are just kind of riding on this, man. This is like stuck. I'm sorry, Cancer, this is tough. This is really tough energy. Oh, water signs. I hope the other elements are easier. All 3 water signs have been really tough. Whoosh. All right, I do also want to take a look at this card, which was what they want from the relationship at this point, okay? So let's take a look at that. Whoopsies. For Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Please have clarification on this Temperance card related to what the person Cancer is thinking about wants from the relationship. Get clarification, please, on what they want from the relationship. What does the person that Cancer is thinking about want from the relationship? The Empress. I just got, they want things to go back to the way that they were. Get clarification for Cancer. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune. Clarification on this Balance or Temperance card related to what the person Cancer's thinking about wants for the relationship. What do they want? Wow. The Tower. This is complicated, Cancer. This is complicated. There are layers on top of layers here. Woo. A bit more clarification, please, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The energy that their partner is in, what they want from the relationship, please. All right, so we'll look at these 3, and then I'm going to look at a few more. The 7 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, and the Fool. Gosh, this is so conflicted. This is so conflicted. I mean, but it goes right along with this card, though. We talked about this card. This was very conflicted energy because they're bound together because the gods put them together. But you know, they one of them doesn't want to be there, but she's stuck anyway, and the other one's trying to make the best out of it. But you know, can only do so much, right? You can only do so much if your love isn't being reciprocated. Jeez. All right, so the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Tower. what I'm getting here is that there's a change, there's a shift that needs, it's like desperately needed. You guys are pretty stuck. So this Tower is like that shift and that change and that release that I think this relationship kind of needs. Same with the, you know, the Wheel of Fortune, same type of deal. But before the Wheel of Fortune can kind of kick in and do its thing, there needs to be some kind of shift and change in the dynamic of the relationship, you know, whatever that means for you. Because otherwise the growth is completely stagnated, is what I'm getting here. Is you're not going to get the growth and the development and the nurturing that this relationship probably is lacking and probably needs. And it's like you're not going to be able to move forward until there's some kind of major some kind of shakeup needs to happen. And you know, whatever that could mean, a million different things. Maybe it's a communication, a confrontation, like to communicate, like once and for all, to actually hash shit out. Maybe it's a breakup. Maybe it's, you know, you pack your stuff in the middle of the night and in the morning you're gone by the time the person wakes. I mean, like, I'm just making stuff up, but like some major something needs to shift. Because, and I'm guessing, you know, so this was, what do they want from the relationship? I don't know. Ask yourself, Cancer. Is there a part of you where this makes sense? Where they, if things can't stay status quo, if it's not healthy and you feel like you're stuck and you're not able to kind of move forward and do the things that you want to do you feel like they might be receptive to having some kind of change? Do you think maybe they actually want it? You think they might want some change? Because these cards are suggesting that they do. The Tower and the Wheel of Fortune are about change. And this is about growth opportunities and nurturing. I don't know, think about it, Cancer. This is not easy. This, I can tell that this is complicated for sure. Now here we have the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Fool. And so this was also what they want from the relationship. This is tough, Cancer. This is really tough because I'm getting that they want change. I mean, like the Fool screams change. That's like the, you know, that's the tarot card that screams, you know, some, you know, coupled, you have two like extreme change cards. The Fool and the Tower are all about, like, you know, this is a new beginning that was thrust upon you in a usually very harsh and unexpected and sudden way. The Fool can also carry that energy, but not necessarily with the sudden, dramatic, usually painful implications that we have with the Tower. But the Fool has that energy of like new cycles and new beginnings. It's the Zero card, right? In a lot of tarot decks, it's the Fool that's about to jump off a cliff because, you know, and start his life journey, and he's completely unaware of all of the pitfalls that life has because he's just starting out, right? So he hasn't been jaded yet. So, you know, new beginning. And then, you know, we have the Wheel of Fortune too, which is about, you know, cycles and changing and new stuff, you know. There's a lot of change coming from this side of the table, Cancer, on what they want from the relationship. So this woman in this deck is pregnant, right? This is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is an energy of waiting. You've planted some seeds, and you've been doing something for a while, and you're waiting to see the results, right? The way that you would if you planted a garden or something. You have to wait. It's that type of idea. But I'm getting here that you might have been waiting for quite some time. And so this is for them, right? Like what they want for the relationship. And I'm specifically was tapping on you because it's a pregnant woman, and for some reason I'm tapping into that. And with the Seven of Swords next to this, I'm wondering if you wanted to kind of commit, plant seeds, have a baby, that kind of thing, and it's being it's been challenged by this Seven of Swords. Excuses, Seven of Swords can definitely be excuses, like, could be lying, cheating, stealing. I'm not necessarily getting that with this, but it's that kind of like, sometimes with Seven of Swords, there's also some overwhelm. So maybe when that person, the person you're thinking about, is thinking about this, like planting, starting, planting seeds with you, so to speak. I'm speaking metaphorically. It may feel a little bit overwhelming for them, and so maybe that's why it hasn't happened. If it hasn't happened for you, if that's something that you wanted. This is deep, you guys. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like, this is like, there's so much here. Oh my goodness. Oh Lordy. Let me see. I'm going to tap into one more thing, right? Against my better judgment, kind of, because this is so complicated and so layered, and I really kind of feel like this needs to be a personal reading. But the messages are coming through, so I'm going to give you what I get. But feel free to email me if you would like a personal reading about this, okay? And see if we can maybe kind of clarify some of this, because right now this is really, there's a lot going on here. So I'm gonna see if I can get some clarification on why these communication challenges exist for this person that you're thinking about, okay? And then that'll be it. So for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, why is the person they're thinking about in the Ace of Swords energy? Why are they in this Ace of Swords in reverse energy? For Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, why is the person they're thinking about in this Ace of Swords in reverse energy? The Queen of Cups, here you are again. Why are they not communicating? Why are they in this Ace of Swords in reverse? The Two of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, excuse me. So bizarre. so many repeat cards between you and Scorpio. And the Magician. I'm wondering if you have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus in your, well, clearly not Sun, but Moon, Rising, or Venus in your chart. I mean, although their message was different, but still, it's like some of these cards are just... Okay. So, why is this person in the Ace of Swords in reverse? I'm thinking that they... I mean, Queen of Cups is all about our emotions and how we connect with them and how we communicate them. Right? And then we have the Two of Pentacles, which is about prioritizing our obligations and our choices and how do we juggle the things that we have to do, that we have going on. And the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow-moving, deliberate, thoughtful type of energy. And so what I'm getting from this is, you know, if they're in this energy, it could be that they too are challenged emotionally, because you're definitely coming up, you know, you're the Queen of Cups, but you're coming up as the Queen of Cups in reverse, which is the Queen of Cups who has, you know, shut her heart chakra down, like we talked about, has shut her emotions down. And, you know, kind of here you are again, or at least the energy of the Queen of Cups. But it's, you know, how? And because now we have the Two of Pentacles here, which is this trying to balance, you know, trying to balance maybe the stability that they're used to. Maybe they're not used to operating in an emotional space, where once upon a time, since you're a Cancer, it probably came a little bit more easily to you, but it got shut down for whatever reason. And this shutdown didn't necessarily have to happen because of this relationship. This could have happened before this relationship, but this relationship maybe hasn't helped to help you, you know, become a little more comfortable connecting to your heart space. Okay, so I'm not trying to blame this relationship. I'm just speaking to the energies that are coming out in the cards. And so, you know, why this person is in this Ace of Swords in reverse, they may not have the capacity. They may not have the emotional capacity to talk with you in a way that's going to bring you upright. You know, they just may not be built that way. And so here you are, like this, right? Because you really probably need and or want a partner who can help you reconnect and get comfortable with sharing and having an emotional bond and having all the beautiful things that come with when we're connected to our heart space and we're connected with people who are connected to their heart space, right? So this is a tough reading, Cancer. Yeah. I think that's what I'm getting here for this, why this what I'm interpreting as a communication challenge exists. I don't know that they have the capacity to give you what you want and or what you need in the communication/emotions department. You know, and, you know, there could be a million reasons for that, right? It could be baggage they carried into the relationship. It could be some stuff that went down, you know, between you two. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. This is a general reading, so it's hard for me to know kind of exactly what, like why they're in this energy, but that's kind of what I'm getting as their overall energy, is that they may not have the capacity. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. We also got this guy, the Magician, for this overall energy, for the communication challenge, the Ace of Swords in reverse. I don't know, Cancer, for some of you, I don't know that this is all of you, but you know, for those of you that are resonating with this, these two cards, this person may, you know, aside from the capacity thing that we just talked about, this person may kind of be a shit. They may not be completely honest with you about how they're feeling or what they're thinking. You know, these types of things require personal readings. Can't really dig into, you know, this is tough stuff. So, but that possibility is here because these cards like this, like, there's a strong indication that for some of you, this person that you're thinking about is not always doing things on the up and up, so to speak. You know, that's tough. Okay, well, we are 46 minutes into the reading, so I am going to force myself to pause there, and I'm going to pull you some messages that you can take with you from the animal spirits. So hopefully they will give you some clarification, some inspiration for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What messages can we give to Cancer related to this relationship, this reading? What messages can we give to Cancer? All right. Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. There are quite a few obstacles I see here. I'm guessing there's like long-term, long-standing kind of rut routine stuck. I'm, you know, getting some communication and or honesty obstacle challenges. I'm getting, like, you know, desires unfulfilled type of obstacles. There's a lot going on here. And so what I think Rhino Spirit is suggesting for you or offering to you is that there are still things that you can do. Like, you don't have to be in this stuck space. I mean, we always have a choice. That's part of why, you know, you can't really predict the future. You can look at probabilities and possibilities, but we all have free will, and so we can always make choices and we can change things. We just have to do them, right? Like, if we don't do them, the situation isn't going to fix itself. And if I'm being honest, in this, especially with all the cards that came out and the way that they came out, I feel like this has been stuck for such a long time that, you know, clearly at this point, that should be an indication for you that it's probably not going to change unless we insert some tower energy into this bad boy, right? Bad boy metaphor, I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about the relationship is like a bad boy. Like something really does need to shift here. And so I think this is an encouragement to do that. And you know, rhino, tower, rhinos are not, you know, it's like bull in a china shop type of thing, right? And that's what the tower energy is about. So this relationship, whatever this is, might need a major shakeup. And I think, Cancer, that scares the shit out of you because of the stability and just, you know, gotten comfortable and that, so on and so forth. Electric Eel Spirit, bring your ideas to life. That's an awesome water card, isn't it? Bring your ideas to life. Cancer. These are your ideas. Well, these are your ideas. this is standing in the way of your ideas. Eel Spirit is telling you to bring your ideas to life. So if you have ideas, if you've had strong feelings and ideas on, social things, relationship things, building things, any of that stuff, the encouragement here is to allow this to happen, because we saw with this card, this was right in the middle, and it's like, well, I can't get to where I want to get to. I can't do the things that I want to do for whatever reason. It's going to be different for all of you, but clearly you have some things that you dream about. You have some things that you want to do. I think you do. I really do think you do. And the encouragement here is to, and you might not have done anything. That could be a multitude of reasons. When our heart is shut down, our creativity is shut down. These are very, very creative energies right here. We might need to do this, and it might scare the shit out of us, this tower thing, in order to kind of open this back up and kind of move past this type of energy. There's a lot going on here. So I'm going to leave you with, because I think this is enough for you. This might have been an overwhelming reading for you, Cancer, and if it was, I'm glad that you stuck with it, and I hope that you did find some messages that were helpful for you, and gave you some stuff to kind of think about, and maybe action if this is the right time, right? So, all right, we're gonna leave it there. I hope that you found this helpful in some way, okay? And I hope this ends up working out in the best way for you. And I hope to see you around on my channel soon. Take care, okay?